52 teams of 8 antique rival wisdoms compete to do the future a favor and guide a life at stop2think.com. Team quote 38.1. You must pay the price if you wish to secure the blessing. Andrew Jackson 1767 to 1845. This quote from Andrew Jackson reflects his pragmatic, often stern worldview, shaped by his experiences as a military leader and later as America's 7th president. Coming from someone known as Old Hickory for his toughness, it embodies his belief in earning one's way. The statement captures a fundamental principle about effort and reward, that meaningful achievements and benefits rarely come without sacrifice or hard work. This connects to Jackson's own life story, rising from humble beginnings to the presidency, though it's important to note that his legacy is complex and controversial, particularly regarding his policies toward Native Americans. What makes this observation particularly compelling is its universality. Whether in personal development, professional achievement, or societal progress, there's usually a price to be paid, be it time, effort, resources, or difficult choices. The word secure is especially telling, suggesting that not only must we pay a price to gain something, but also to maintain it. The quote structure has an almost contractual quality to it, reflecting Jackson's background in law and his belief in direct transactional relationships. It suggests a kind of natural law of consequence, that blessings, benefits, achievements, progress don't simply happen, they must be earned through conscious investment or sacrifice. Team quote 38.2. The byproduct is sometimes more valuable than the product. Henry Ellis 1721 to 1806. This is a remarkably insightful observation from Ellis, particularly interesting coming from someone who served as a colonial governor and explorer. His role in studying different cultures and natural phenomena likely gave him many opportunities to observe how unintended discoveries can outweigh intended ones. The quote speaks to the serendipitous nature of innovation and discovery. Often, while pursuing one goal, we stumble upon something unexpectedly valuable in the process. This principle has proven true countless times throughout history, from Alexander Fleming's accidental discovery of penicillin to the invention of Post-it notes from a failed adhesive. In business and research, this concept remains highly relevant. Many of today's most commonly used products were originally byproducts or unexpected outcomes of other projects. For instance, WD-40 was originally developed to prevent corrosion in nuclear missiles, and Viagra was initially researched as a heart medication. The quote also hints at a broader philosophical point about how value is created and perceived. Sometimes the journey itself, the lessons learned, skills developed, or relationships formed along the way, proves more valuable than the original intended outcome. This suggests there's wisdom in remaining open to unexpected possibilities and learning opportunities, even when they seem tangential to our primary goals. Team quote 38.3. Absence sharpens love, presence strengthens it. Benjamin Franklin 1706 to 1790. This quote from Franklin reveals a deep understanding of human relationships and emotion, which is interesting coming from someone often associated with his more pragmatic wisdom about money and success. The observation shows his insight into the dual nature of love and attachment. The first part, absence sharpens love, speaks to how separation can intensify feelings, make us more acutely aware of what we value in someone, and increase our appreciation. Franklin would have understood this personally through his long periods away from home, during his diplomatic missions to England and France. The second part, presence strengthens it, balances the first by acknowledging that while absence might heighten feelings, it's actual time together that builds and reinforces bonds. The use of strengthens suggests something becoming more robust and durable, like building a foundation. What makes this observation particularly elegant is how it captures the complementary nature of these seemingly opposite experiences. Rather than seeing absence and presence as contradictory forces, Franklin presents them as two different mechanisms that both contribute to love's development, one through acute awareness, the other through deep connection. This wisdom feels especially relevant today, when technology allows us to be partially present while physically absent, creating new dynamics in how relationships are maintained and strengthened. Team quote 38.4. He that saith to be a friend never was a good one. Henry George Bohn 1796 to 1884. This observation from Bohn, a British publisher known for making literature more accessible to the public, offers a profound insight into the nature of true friendship. What makes this particularly interesting is that it suggests friendship isn't just a state of being, but rather a reflection of character. The quote implies that genuine friendship has a permanent quality to it, that if someone can easily cease being a friend, they never truly were one in the first place. This speaks to the difference between authentic friendship and relationships of mere convenience or circumstance. What's especially compelling about this perspective is how it challenges our understanding of former friends. Bohn suggests that real friendship has an enduring quality that transcends disagreements, distance, or time. If a relationship can be easily discarded, perhaps it lacked the depth and commitment that characterize true friendship. This connects to classical ideas about friendship from philosophers like Aristotle, who distinguished between friendships of utility, pleasure, and virtue. Bohn's quote seems to align with the idea that genuine friendship is rooted in virtue and character, rather than temporary circumstances or benefits. The insight feels particularly relevant in our current era of social media friends and disposable relationships, reminding us that authentic friendship requires a deeper level of commitment and character. Team quote 38.5. Friendship is love without his wings. Lord Byron 1788 to 1824. This is such a characteristic Byron quote, romantic yet insightful, poetic yet precise. Coming from one of the leading figures of the Romantic movement, known for his passionate poetry and tumultuous personal life, it offers an interesting perspective on the relationship between love and friendship. The metaphor is particularly clever. By describing friendship as love without wings, Byron suggests that friendship is more grounded, more stable than romantic love. While romantic love can soar to great heights, it can also fly away. Friendship, by contrast, keeps its feet on the ground, offering stability and permanence. This characterization is especially interesting coming from Byron, whose romantic entanglements were often dramatic and fleeting, while some of his friendships proved more enduring. It suggests he recognized the distinct value of friendship's steadier nature, even as he pursued love's more passionate flights. The exclamation mark at the end adds a typical Byronic flourish, giving the observation an emotional weight that transforms it from mere metaphor into something more like a celebration of friendship's unique qualities. It's as if he's saying that the absence of wings isn't a deficiency, but rather a virtue. What makes friendship special is precisely its groundedness. Team quote 38.6. Only the wisest and stupidest of men never change. Confucius 551 BC, 479 BC. This paradoxical observation from Confucius captures a fascinating insight about human nature and adaptability. What makes it particularly clever is how it links two seemingly opposite types of people through a shared characteristic. The wisest, according to this view, don't change because they've already found fundamental truths and principles worth adhering to. The stupidest don't change because they're incapable of learning or adapting. Everyone else, the vast majority of humanity, exists in the middle ground where change is both possible and necessary for growth. This creates an interesting distinction between steadfastness and stubbornness. The wise person's consistency comes from deep understanding, while the foolish person's rigidity comes from lack of comprehension. Same behavior, entirely different roots. What makes this observation particularly powerful is how it challenges simplistic views about change and consistency. It suggests that neither change nor constancy is inherently virtuous. What matters is the wisdom, or lack thereof, behind it. This seems especially relevant today, when we often hear competing mantras about never changing who you are versus constantly reinventing yourself. The quote also reflects Confucius's broader philosophical emphasis on continuous learning and self-improvement for most people. while acknowledging that there are exceptions at both extremes of the wisdom spectrum. Team quote 38.7. In politics, stupidity is not a handicap. Napoleon Bonaparte 1769–1821. This sardonic observation from Napoleon reveals his cynical understanding of political power, gained through his remarkable rise from Corsican artillery officer to Emperor of France. The irony is particularly sharp coming from someone known for his tactical brilliance and strategic mind. What makes this quote especially biting is its implication that political success doesn't necessarily correlate with intelligence or capability. Napoleon, who witnessed and participated in the complex political machinations of post-revolutionary France, suggests that in politics other factors, perhaps charisma, connections, or simple fortune, might matter more than intellectual acumen. There's also a deeper commentary here about how political systems often reward qualities other than intelligence or competence. Napoleon had first-hand experience with this, having seen how the French Revolution's ideals of merit-based advancement could be undermined by political maneuvering and populist appeal. The observation remains remarkably relevant today, when political discourse and success often seem disconnected from intellectual depth or policy expertise. It suggests that some aspects of political life, the role of personality, the power of simple messages, the importance of appeal over substance, have changed little since Napoleon's time. It's worth noting that this insight comes from someone who ultimately fell from power, perhaps adding an extra layer of bitter wisdom to his observation about political dynamics. Team quote 38.8. It is the mind that makes the body. Sojourner Truth 1797–1883. This profound statement from Sojourner Truth carries special weight coming from someone who endured slavery, fought for abolition, and championed women's rights. Her observation about the relationship between mind and body emerged from personal experience, with both physical hardship and spiritual resilience. The quote suggests that our mental and spiritual strength shapes our physical reality, an especially powerful insight from someone who faced extreme physical oppression, yet maintained extraordinary inner strength. Truth demonstrated this principle throughout her life, using her mental fortitude to overcome tremendous obstacles and become a powerful voice for justice. What makes this observation particularly compelling is its universal application, while also holding specific resonance for those facing adversity. For Truth, the idea that the mind shapes the body wasn't just philosophical musing, it was lived experience. She showed how mental conviction could overcome physical constraints, whether in escaping slavery, fighting legal battles, or sustaining years of activist work. In modern context, this wisdom remains relevant across many domains, from understanding psychosomatic connections in health, to recognizing how mindset affects physical performance, to appreciating how mental resilience can help overcome bodily challenges. Truth's insight predated much of our scientific understanding of the mind-body connection, yet captured its essence through direct experience. And to help raise school test scores and confidence with free easy extra advantage math, spelling and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free easy math wisdom workbooks with octa-repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free easy alpha cipher-coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this cipher quote of encouragement using either our learning to spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt, and most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equalities are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms, like pretty witty baby onesies and pretty witty kids. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think tees I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom. Make us all wiser and kinder. And for a downloadable PDF of these team quotes, join the 52 of 8 today.